DragonSword Awakening is an anime-style open-world action RPG built around fast character switching and flashy combat. No native macOS version, obviously, but what surprised me here was that the workarounds to play it on a Mac aren't that many either. Still, I tested a bunch and am now ready to tell you about the ones that worked best for me to help you pick the right method for your setup. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the 2 methods that gave us best results. Crossover is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. In my tests on an M3 Max MacBook Pro with 36GB, the game ran just fine. In fact, it was surprisingly smooth for a recently released title. I got between 50 and 75 frames per second at 1080p resolution using the normal preset with effects on low and quality upscaling set to high. Yes, it's not ideal, but it's definitely playable and allows for some pretty visuals if you've got the hardware. For a sensible baseline that still lets you play this game locally in Crossover, I'd say an M1 Pro with 16GB is the lowest you can realistically go, though I'd still prefer at least 24 gigs for stable performance. The main compromises here are reduced effects during crowded fights, shader hitching, and inconsistent behavior between Crossover updates. Because the game requires DirectX 12, D3D Metal is the renderer to use, alongside MSync. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. To use Crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install Crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with Crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. The second method we recommend is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. Boosteroid is a very good fit for DragonSword because this is a demanding Unreal Engine 5 game with large areas, busy fights, and plenty of effects that cause weaker machines to struggle, especially when the game is running through a translation layer tool like Crossover. Since the game runs on remote hardware with Boosteroid, you can enjoy the full glory of the game's visuals without worrying about local performance. With about a 40 megabit internet, you can comfortably stream DragonSword at a 1080p resolution and 60 FPS, and with 60 megabits or more, you can enjoy up to 4K and 120 FPS. Obviously, a slow or laggy connection can introduce blur or delay during fast battles, but in most cases, Boosteroid tends to be a viable solution for a game like DragonSword. For anyone who doesn't have a particularly powerful Mac or who wants the easiest route with no compatibility troubleshooting, this is the path I'd recommend. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. To get the best performance with DragonSword, especially if you are using the Crossover method, I highly advise you to apply the optimizations shown here. Most importantly, set effects quality on low and quality upscaling to high. You can keep texture quality on high or at least medium for cleaner characters and environments. If movement still feels uneven, use a sensible frame limit rather than lowering everything else. For further performance gains, feel free to apply the other settings shown here. The other methods are a variation of this theme. AirGPU is the rent a gaming PC by the hour option. You buy credit, spin up a Windows machine, then stream it through Parsec or Moonlight. You pay by the hour and prices vary depending on what machine you rent, but the average is around $1. Then you also need to pay for local storage, which is $3.50 per month per 50 gigabytes with a minimum of 100 gigs. Shadow PC is the subscription version of the same idea, where the lowest monthly subscription fee is $34 for US users, and it only goes up from there. EU users get a cheaper plan option that costs €20 per month, but that's still more than twice the monthly fee for Boosteroid's base plan. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of Crossover. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikarugir itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikarugir, just click the respective video in the description, and it will show you exactly what to do. Boosteroid is the easiest recommendation for DragonSword due to its simplicity and price to value ratio. This method removes the entire compatibility and system requirements questions and is only limited by your internet connection. Shadow PC and AirGPU are also both decent options for the DragonSword, and their flexibility means you can customize the entire experience to fit your exact hardware preferences. However, the end result won't be that much different compared to Boosteroid, so only go for these two if you really care about having more cloud customization options at your disposal. Crossover is the best local method to try if you want lower latency, offline access, and no streaming compression. The game runs well with this method, but you are limited by your Mac's capabilities and the performance overhead that comes with using a translation layer. Sikarugir follows the same local idea for free. Pick it only if you enjoy manual setup and troubleshooting, because it's less user-friendly to set up and get it to work properly. Again, I recommend our dedicated guide on how to use it if you really want to play DragonSword with its help. In summary, recommendation is to pick either Boosteroid as the easiest option or Crossover if you are adamant about playing the game locally. Use Sikarugir only as a DIY experiment if you don't want to pay for Crossover, and Shadow PC or AirGPU if cloud customization is important to you. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen, or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.